Hi, I'm Miss Hannah from the Highland Park Public Library, and welcome to Library in Your Living Room. Today it's all about dirt. We're going to make some dirt pudding. A lot of people don't know this, but dirt is actually made up of different layers. So we're going to talk a little bit about those different layers of dirt, and then I'll show you a really cool dessert recipe. So dirt is basically a mixture of water, air, and solid particles. And it can have different colors and different textures based on what those solid particles are. And those particles can be different minerals, they could be sand, they could be decaying plants. So all kinds of stuff gets mixed together to make dirt. And depending on where you are and what the dirt is made of, it can look really different. And this dirt changes all the time. Stuff like weather or plants or human involvement, because humans wreck everything. All those factors can make the dirt change. They can cause the layers to get thicker or thinner, or sometimes disappear altogether. So there are 5 layers of dirt, and from top to bottom, they each get a letter. At the very top, we've got O, A, E, B, and C at the bottom. So O stands for organic. So those are like living materials. So like stuff like decaying leaves, bits of grass, stuff like that. And then below that is A. A is a mixture of that decaying material from the top layer and also minerals. The A layer is where you're going to find a lot of plant roots and a lot of animals like worms live there too. Underneath A is the E layer. Not all types of dirt have the E layer, so you'll see it sometimes but not other times. Go figure. So E is basically concentrated sand and silt particles, not many minerals in the E layer. Underneath that is the B layer. And B is mostly made of materials that have moved down or leached from the layers above it. So it's very rich in minerals and stuff that came down from the top layers. And then at the very bottom we have C. And the C layer is the deposit of material that started the soil development in the first place. So those are usually larger chunks of minerals or rocks. Beneath all of that is bedrock, which is pretty much what it sounds like, just a solid slab of rock. So those are the basic layers of dirt. Now let's make some dessert. So for our dirt pudding, we're going to need cookies, whipped cream, chocolate pudding, and coconut flakes. Now I made all of that stuff from scratch because I'm extra, but you can definitely buy whipped cream and cookies and pudding at the store. And because dirt looks different all over the place, you don't really need to measure any of these ingredients. If you want it to be mostly made of cookies, you can use a bunch of cookies. If you want it to be mostly pudding, you can do it that way. If you want it to not have any of like whipped cream or any coconut shavings, that's totally fine too. That just means your soil has eroded a lot and it's missing some things, but that's fine. All right, so in my bowl, I've got some cookie crumbs, and that's going to be the C layer. So that's the parent material that started the soil development process. Then on top of that, we're going to build our B layer. And the B layer here is going to be chocolate pudding. And I mixed a little bit of whipped cream in it to make the color a little bit lighter. But it could also just be straight chocolate pudding if you want. And so this B layer is the minerals that have leached down from the uppermost layers. All right, so there is B. Next we'll do the E layer. And that's the sand and silt particles. And like I said, some dirt samples have E layer and some don't, so it's entirely up to you. if you want to include this. This is just regular whipped cream. Nothing fancy. Here we go. All right, after that is the A layer. Now the A layer is kind of a mishmash of everything. It's got some minerals, it's got some decaying plant material, so I'm using a mixture of chocolate pudding and coconut flakes and cookie crumbs. It's really thick, so I'm gonna do my best to spread it. Okay, there we go. That is our A layer. And then at the very top is our O layer, and that's the organic materials. So I've got some coconut shavings here. I dyed them green because, again, I'm extra, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. All right, and there is my dirt pudding. And you can see it's got different layers and they're different thicknesses in different spots. And when you take soil samples outside in the real world, it looks a lot like that too. It's got different layers, different thicknesses. Sometimes they might be missing layers. So, yeah, this is a delicious interpretation of some soil science. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to have more information about our upcoming programs, check out our website, hplibrary.org, and click on Library in your living room. And if you like what you see here, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe and wash your hands.